Hello, hello. Happy Sunday after Thanksgiving. One vacation, one holiday down, one left to go. Well, actually two if you count New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. So it is so good to see you. I have been having so much fun, it was hard to stop. First, before we get into talking about today's project, let me see who is here and let me say hello and thank you that you were very patient with me during our last Friday, this 2 days ago show. It's hard to believe it was just 2 days ago. Okay, my camera got moved all around, so let me get that settled back right. Happy Sunday, Marcia, sweetheart. So we have Marcia, Polly, Kathy Klein. Hi, sweetie. Sonia's here. Hi, Miss Sonia. So it is nice to see you. And some people might be traveling to try to get back home from Thanksgiving. But that's okay. We have some fun things to do today. We have the SnowGlobe quilt off the frame. And let me show you all about that. I have some things to share with you that I got as prizes or I bought or got off the free table at the retreat to show you. We had a retreat show and tell, and I've got those pictures to show you today. There are some amazing quilts in that. And then, oh, Mitty is here. Carol's here. Sue Lambert. Hi from Washington. That's wonderful. Hello, Sue Lambert. So it is nice to see some new names and some names I knew before. I feel discombobbled today. I don't know why. I just do. But I tell you what, Mark and I were talking about it last night. We can't eat Thanksgiving food all the time. Oh my gosh. Between turkey and homemade mashed potatoes and homemade gravy and candied yams and cranberry salad. I mean, oh my goodness. So I said, I feel like I've gained back all the weight it took me weeks to lose. But we said, okay, we're going back to normal eating because we felt so sluggish. And eating turkey so often felt right sleepy afterwards, too. So I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. What makeup foundation do I use? I use CoverGirl. In fact, is it over here? Yes, CoverGirl. And, but I like CoverGirl because I've been using it my whole life. And it doesn't, it doesn't feel too oily or something. I was going to tell Polly that when she gave me these seed heads of her plant out front, being in the warm, moist bag, the blooms all started opening up. And it was so pretty. I looked at the bag a few days later, and it was gorgeous. So thank you very much. Oh, that's wonderful. We would love to see. That's fantastic. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. And then Edwin East is here. Betty Middleton is here. Hi, sweetheart. I'm hoping you're doing well. So it's fun. We even had someone new on Friday from Turkey. And that was so fun. So they have reached out to me by email. They're trying to learn to quilt. And they said there's not a lot of quilting going on in Turkey. So I said, well, you've come to the right place. We will help you learn. So I sent her I hope everyone that I sent these SnowGlobe patterns to has gotten them because, boy, are they fun. You still have a few that are blooming. Oh, guys, don't you love it? All right, so also we have our first Christmas ornament of the day. I'm taking this from the retreat that I'm not sure if it was Miss Cheryl or Nancy, but cutest idea. A little Christmas tree using buttons. So we'll be doing more like that. So we'll be doing more like that. So that'll be our first Christmas ornament so far. And I even asked Mark, I said, would you mind getting down the Christmas decorations? Because I think I'm going to really make myself decorate the house this year. I start out good, but sometimes I kind of wimp out. The tree, I don't enjoy decorating a tree. Does anybody else feel that way? I love other kind of decorations, but doing a tree, ugh. And but I love a real tree. And so even if I don't get it fully decorated, to me it's worth it because the house smells wonderful. We always get a live tree. But my daughter Becky drove all the way yesterday from the Eastern Shore, Maryland, back down to south of us here, and then grabbed her daughter and went out and got a tree. I thought, I can do it this year. I think that's wonderful. Okay, so we're going to talk about the snowman. And you know what? I haven't quite unloaded everything from the retreat, so I'm not sure where my snowman instructions are with the pages, but I do have, I'm trying to think if I already put them on the site. I'm pretty sure I put them on the site. People who have been asking for patterns, for the most part, I've been giving you all of them, but the next two you already should have 1 and 2 of the snow globes. Now this week is 3 and 4, then next week is 5 and 6, and then the finish. And I haven't written up the instructions for the finish, but I will. So let me show you now that I have it off the frame. Let me show you. Now, to me, this is the fun part, you know. Well, it was awfully fun to use felt and flannel and wool to create the little scenes in each snow globe. That was a lot of fun. But now this part, you wait to see what fun it is. I feel like I'm a kid back in school. So here we go. Here is, let me see if I've scooted back enough. I'm not sure how good you can see it, but here is our Christmas block of the week. And we are doing this Snow Globe Snowman. And boy, is it fun. And I want to give shout outs. I dropped a piece I need. I want to give shout outs to Diana Bicknell. She designed this pattern and it is wonderful. So, okay. Now I'll show you close up. Oh, and Mark looked at, because I told him Friday that the camera would get to a position and then flop down. So he pulled it apart and said, you're right, the screw was stripped. So if I was strong enough as him, you could have gotten past the stripped area. But with my poor hamstrings anymore, I couldn't. So he put a different screw in, and then he said, for Christmas, let's get you a new arm for your camera. So I'm excited. All right, here we go. So now, okay, let me show you first. Here is an example. Whoops. Let me get the snow globe right. Here, come on, Deb. Everything is backwards in the camera. Here is this snow globe design. And you notice I put a lighter color Christmas part of the Christmas tree. I tried to be fancy and divide it into different colors. I don't know if it worked, but I carefully put a new lighter piece so that Willow could show up. This is what that puppy we're calling our Willow, Melanie's puppy. Isn't it cute? I couldn't believe when Diane Diana B. Designed it. I went, oh my gosh, it looks like Willow. So that's who we're calling it. So anyway, that's what a block looks like when you first make it. Now, let me see if you can tell. When I was doing the quilting, I did a trapunto effect. So I took and cut the globe part shape and the base part shape out of the high loft batting that I was using for the rest of it. And I put it right behind. As I would roll it in the long arm quilter, I would quilt frame, I would load it right behind the globe part. Then when I did the quilting stitch around the edge of the globe, and oh, you can kind of see it, but I wanted you to be able to see it's very puffy. Okay, so that's what they look like when I first made them. Now, I told y'all I was going to try something because a couple years ago, I bought some fusible vinyl that you can use to make whatever quilt fabric you want, nice and resilient. And you just iron this vinyl over your quilt fabric. Because you know how it's wonderful to make a purse or a tote out of quilt fabric, but they wear pretty badly and they get dirty easily, and what a mess. So I ordered this thinking I'd make a tote. Well, I hadn't yet, so I grabbed it. Here is the block with that fusible vinyl on it. Let me see. Yeah, you can see the light shining. See the reflection shining on it? So what this means, the reason I wanted to use this is because, boy, you talk about a realistic effect. This does that. But also, it means I didn't have to go in there with invisible thread and tack down all my applique. And one thing I'm going to warn you, fusible does not like wool and felt and flannel. The fusible just didn't want to hold it down. So I think I would use tacky glue if I were you, because some things held in place, some things didn't. One more tip. Diana said, use a permanent pin to do the eyes and to do the buttons, the little tiny things. I'm going to tell you this. I first used one of my Sharpie fine points to do it. Sharpie tends to bleed. The permanent Sharpie, it's a wonderful product for some things, but it bleeds on fabric. And let me show you what I mean. See the buttons? Can you tell that the buttons have kind of bled a little? So I hope you haven't used a Sharpie yet. What I recommend is a micron pen, permanent, or this I got off of Amazon. It wasn't expensive at all, and it's by Marvy, and it's a fabric marker. Okay. It's not wanting to sharpen. I want you to be able to see it. Marvy fabric marker. Okay. This was wonderful. It had a felt tip, but a small chiseled felt tip. I'm really happy with this. Microns are always good. This kind has like a super sharp point. I really prefer this one just because of the ease of using it. So no Sharpie for this one. This is the Sharpie I had used, and because it has a tiny tip, very tiny tip, it's great on paper and things, but on fabric it tends to bleed a little. So, and we don't want that, not when you're doing such fine, and I'm hoping I showed you the right buttons. Yeah, those buttons were the ones that bled. And so I didn't worry about that. It's just a little bit of it. But for the smile and the eyes, you really need this sharp white and black. So I would use something that's not a Sharpie, a permanent pen with a nice fine tip that you know is not going to bleed into surrounding fabrics. So, and I was trying to get this ready, and Mark said, "Oh, hon, you missed a spot. There's one of your safety pins. You must have an area you need to take out." I wanted to crack up because you know how I told you that that's one of my things I do when I have it on the frame and I've made a mistake. I correct the mistake on the frame. Then I have a tray of safety pins. I put a safety pin there so that then when I go and I sit in my chair and I'm comfortable, I can take out the wayward stitches. But when I'm there, I put the correct stitch, even if it goes over the incorrect one, because I can always pull it out once I'm nice and comfortable and not sitting over a frame. So anyway, but I thought it was cute that even he knows. He knows what that safety pin means. So anyway, so now let's get busy together and let's work. Whoops. Oh, okay, there you are. Let's work on how do we decorate. Here's a second one I've already done too. Let me see which way. So here is the second one. I've already put the vinyl on. So, all right, let me get some things. This is supposed to be an ironing surface. I use it for everything. This poor ironing board, but it's so convenient. Okay, so here we go. Now, if you are not going to, you don't have to buy the vinyl. The vinyl. You might have said, "Hey, Deb, what is that vinyl product?" So I'll show you. I'm in a cheeky mood today. I don't know why. But here it is. Pallon 100 Vinyl Fuse Gloss. And, you know, I wanted the gloss because I want it to shine. It still gives a little bit of a translucent rather than a transparent look, but I do like it. The benefit of using this is you can put glitter and sprinkles as if you've just shaken the SnowGlobe, and I like that. So, and I'll show you further how to do that. But it's Pallon 100 Vinyl Fuse Gloss. When I show it to you, I'm going to give you the specific instructions on putting it on because there is a method. Okay, and here is one of my globes. I took the globe template and cut out one of these, and I might have left just a little extra around the edge because I wanted to make sure it covered the entire globe part. Okay, all right, so let me get my camera down here, let me get my supplies, and we are going to have some fun. All right. What did I do? Hold on. Oh, I see it. Okay, here we go. We're going to do this cute little snow. Whoops. Nope. Don't start acting up now on me. Don't. Oh, you're wanting to act up. Ugh. Yay. Yay. Okay, here we go. Now let me see if this light will help or hurt. It might be okay. Let's see how it does. So I've got this, but first, what do we want to put on the globe? And, oh, thank you, Miss Carol. Gosh, you're the best. Between you and Marcia, y'all spoil me rotten. Marcia's not listed as a moderator. Let me see. Hold on, Marcia. Marcia's got to be one of our moderators because she's our queen of nice. Okay, good. All right. Maybe, oh, you know what, Marcia? You did tell me that you got a new email address and stuff, so I think it's not recognizing you the same way. It wouldn't let me change it. Okay. And yes, anyone that wants to request the quilt pattern, please do. I will be glad to send it right out to you. All right, so here is a little, let me find a prettier one. This is a little thing that she used to try to mimic a reflection through the glass. So let me get this on over here. Okay, and I'm just going to put a little tacky glue right down there. And now, oh, you know what? I do have this. I found this on my floor and I said, uh-oh, that must have come off the quilt. And you know what? I was telling you that, the Fusible didn't want to keep the wool, and this is real wool. It did not want to keep the wool on. So I'll just put that real quick. Now I don't want to use too much. All right. So now I'm going to come in here. And what I found that worked pretty good, I'll do this last. Let me see. I want to use some of these sequins this time. So let's see. I'm going to stick them here. And what I'm going to do for the bigger things that I put on here is I'm just going to put a little touch of tacky glue around like this. All right. And so now that I've done that, I can take these sequins and put a couple of them since they are kind of tiny. Oh, how cute. Then I have some little snowflake sequins. So I'll take and drop those on some of these little dabs of glue. Okay, let me put this here. And if you have any questions and you want to make sure I see it, feel free. Does the pattern need to be enlarged? Nope. Yeah, good job, Betty. If you have questions, put them in all capitals because that way I can easily spot them. So that would really help. I know that normally we're taught, oh, don't use all caps. It's rude. Not when the person needs to be able to see you're asking a question. All right, so now I'll put a couple sequins on some of these glue spots. This is so much fun. This is the kind of, I think at heart, I'm truly a craft person because it just, I used to always love, give me some construction paper, scissors, and glue, and I'm a happy puppy. All right, so now we're done with the sequins. Now we're done with the sequins. Oops. You know what? I'll leave a couple out here to sprinkle around. All right. I'm just trying to, this stuff can get really messy. So I'm just trying to, all right. So now that the bigger items are down specifically, I take a little of this temporary adhesive spray and just kind of spray over it, because that way, make sure you are in a very well ventilated space, because that is strong. All right, so I take some of those, and then I'm going to take a little bit of this white glitter. And I'm putting a little more of this right at the bottom here. Now, what I like to do, this glitter I've probably had for 40 years. I don't know, long time. All right. Now, let me move these out of the way. And let me sprinkle some of these around. Before you put the vinyl on, come up with your finger and get anything off of the eyes and the smile, because I don't want them to cover up this precious design that Diana made for the eyes. And then I just kind of brush some of, whoops, I have accidentally brushed those off. Don't want to brush those off. Now you might say, well, the glue hasn't had a chance to dry. It's okay. Okay. I'm thinking that looks pretty good. Maybe just a little touch more here. So even if the sticky, since this has a lot of background, the sticky spray might not be holding all of it. It's okay. Now you take your piece of fusible vinyl, and this is always the hard part. I know I can use a pen to score it, to score the paper. I just want to make sure, though, I don't scrape the vinyl, because that wouldn't be good. But let me see if I scraped it just enough. Yay! That I can pull the paper backing off. Now, this is very important if you're going to use this product. I took the time to read the instructions very well, because you must not touch the iron onto the vinyl. Okay, so I kind of put it down, trying to make sure I've centered it, but that it goes to all the edges, and it's slightly sticky, so it kind of works pretty good. Now, what I use is my Teflon ironing surface. Okay, this is very important. They say you can use this kind of paper that it comes on, and I guess this side, but I wanted to make sure that I have the surface covered so there's no chance that my iron will touch the vinyl. And so you come on here and gently heat it to get the fusing, okay? And I've only got it on a 4. Whoop, it's auto off. Let's see if it was hot enough. I don't know. Nope, not quite hot enough. Hold on. Let it heat up just a second. You can tell if it's hot enough because see how it's leaning up? So let me make sure I've got it in place. Looks good. And I might, just for good measure, take one of those invisible threads like this. This is YLI. And do a zigzag around the vinyl edge just to make sure it stays. Because I've never used this product, so I'm not sure what exactly it will do. But read the product for the temperature of your iron. I have one iron that always runs hot. This one runs cooler, so read your instructions. All right, there we go. Now, what I like to do is peek at it, because sometimes when you go to pull it up, it wants to stick to this Teflon ironing sheet. And so I don't want it to do that. So I come in here, I gently pull it off, okay? Now, while it's warm, come in here and rub. This is what I found. I don't remember seeing this on the instructions, but I found this works really good to make sure while it's cooling down to rub it in and make sure there's really good contact. Okay, and then I'm going to hold this up and let you see what this looks like. So you have to make sure that you have all the pieces where you want before putting the vinyl on, because if you lift this up, you'd probably have to get a whole new piece of vinyl, and I think there'd be a lot of mess. All right. So, and I especially go around the edges. Let me iron this a little bit more right here at this edge. You notice I use the pressing sheet. If you touch the iron to the vinyl, I guarantee you it would melt all over your iron. Okay, and I'm going to pull it loose this way. Okay, all right. And then while it's cooling, I'm going to smooth it down. All right. I think that's pretty good. Let me get these little threads off here. All right. And I just like taking my time with it, because once you get it down, it's pretty good. But I like taking my time while it's warm and give it every chance. All right, let's hold this up and see what this looks like. Now, I would say you don't necessarily have to have some temporary adhesive spray. I just thought it might help me when I'm first laying some things down. But, you know, since you put the vinyl over and you press it, then the glitter will stay where it is. Okay, here we go. Let's see. There it is. Isn't that cute? Teresa Djokovic. Hi, sweetie. I thought about you the other day. So good to see you, hon. So what do you think of that? Is that so cute? Alberta. Alberta, I don't think I would wash this. If something spilled on it, I think you could take a gentle rag and stuff, but I would never put this in the washing machine. When you do, I don't know let me see if it's what it says here. It's not in English. Hold on. I don't know. Oh, it says hand wash in cold water or wipe off with a damp cloth. Do not tumble dry. Do not dry clean or use fabric softeners. Okay, good question, hon. But I never wash my decorative but you can see now how puffy it is too. So it's really, really cute. And I even did a stitch right across here to really give a little definition to that holder. Now I see a little glue kind of coming through here, but since it's fabric on the back, it'll eventually dry and turn invisible. So I'm not going to worry about that little bit of glue. Okay. So I hope you like this. Now let's look at it from a little bit of a distance and see, since all three of the top globes are done. Let's see how this would look. I'm just so grateful to Diana for designing this for us. So what do you think? And here, let me show you the ones below it so you can see the difference between the vinyl and the plain. Now, let's say you don't want to use vinyl or you can't find it, then what I would do is use a more permanent spray adhesive, spray it on, sprinkle your glitter and everything on there, and then hope it stays. Let it dry, see if it stays. But it's fun to have. I like seeing the glitter in the vinyl because it looks like it's just been shaken. So forever, these will be as if they've just been shaken up. So, I love it. Love, love, love it. All right. Oh, and here, I do see an area where I left a safety pin. Now let me see. Whoops, hold on. Let me get it as tight as I can get it. The problem is the camera's right heavy, And we looked into maybe getting a GoPro camera, something like that. But what I've done, he warned me that it maybe wouldn't be as sturdy as I wanted it to be, but let's see. But maybe it would be better if I got a lighter weight camera. It's going to, okay. So I just wanted to show you that I was talking to you Friday. I wanted to do a dense quilting to really help make this puff out. And so, okay. And so I said, you can do all around here, but make your transition between the two in an obscure place. And by doing this in an obscure place, you won't notice how different the angles are. Because even though you think you're doing the same angle, it's not quite. When there are 360 degrees within a circle, how in the world are you supposed to stay within just a couple degrees? So, like, I brought this in. This is really awkward. So I'm going to take this stitch out. I'm going to leave this one in and take this crooked one out. And that way you won't notice that there's slightly different degrees. I hope you could see that. Well, no, I don't think you could. Let me show you. This is what I mean when I've got it, when I'm quilting it. Okay, so I came in here. I don't know what I did with that one, but I'm going to take this out starting right here. And then I'll come in and do a new line of sewing, straighten that out. Then I'm going to take out this one right here. So let me see. Yeah, what I've got to do is figure out which ones. I want the lines to be straighter. I was in a big hurry. That's why I just, and this is something I can easily touch up on my regular sewing machine too. I don't need to have this on the frame. But you see, that's a little messy. So that's why I put, let me get my safety pin and put it back, because until I've fixed it, I leave it on. Now, why use a safety pin? Because when you're quilting a quilt and you say, oh, I'll remember to do that, and you get that quilt off the frame, you're like, what end is up? Where was that again? There's so many areas. So by keeping a bowl of safety pins and putting them everywhere something needs to be handled, it's easy. All righty. So that was fun. I hope you are liking this. Miss Mary, yay, you're here. I worried when I didn't see her Friday, and I said, well, Deb, she has a right to do Thanksgiving just like she wants. But it's like, I love my Miss Mary. So anyway, all right. Oh, isn't it cute? And so I have instructions, plus every week we talk about it during our show. And let's see. Let me show you. But to me, it is just adorable. And I want to give a huge shout out to our pattern designer, Diana Bicknell. Very talented woman. Okay. Oh, and there's one other place I wanted to show you about it. I was doing the final block in which the snow lady is holding her featherweight sewing machine. Well, when I was picking out my flannels and my wools and felts, I picked out what I thought was a pretty color for her little jacket. Then I went to put the sewing machine on the jacket, and guess what? It disappeared. So I carefully peeled it back off, put it on the flannel, glued it on the flannel, and cut out, leaving just a little white edge showing, because I liked her jacket. I didn't want to change that color. And so now, do you see how that machine just pops right out? And I added to the pattern a basket of fabric because I thought that was cute, you know. And that's the thing. Diana won't mind it at all. Is make this your own. There's hardly a quilt I ever make without me doing something that strikes my fancy. Oh, I always show you my mistakes because I have a feeling we all make them. But I was busy trying to quilt this, got up this morning and got right on that frame and said, I got to get it off because I got to get it ready to do the stuff for the show. And so I rolled it out all the way, not watching where the top leader was starting where, you know, because you have these leaders that you put on the machine that you connect the fabric to. Make a long story short, I quilted all the way down to the edge here. There was a problem. The backing fabric stopped up here. So I'm sitting on the sewing machine with my little nipping type scissors, and I'm trying to gently cut threads because I had sewed the leader onto the quilt. I ran out of backing fabric, and when I was cutting it the other day, I thought, yeah, this looks right. No, it wasn't right. It was too small all the way around. That's why anytime you do a quilt or take a quilt to a quilter, have your backing be 3 to 4 inches bigger on each side, because during the quilting process, things pull in and kind of shrink just a little. You might not get it put squarely on the frame. And the worst thing is to have all this quilting down here that has totally run out of backing fabric. So when I was cutting the excess fabric off, when I got it off the frame, I saved enough that I've now got to go in and remove enough stitching so I can stitch a couple inch piece along here and then re-quilt the little bottom couple inches. You see what I mean? So pay attention, be sharp, and if it happens to you, just laugh and go, well, Deb does it. So, but anyway, let me show you the back. I haven't nipped threads and things, but I thought people love seeing the back because they can kind of see what quilting you do. You notice I do not quilt on the puffy area, although I do have one thread to remove. One of the pieces of flannel kept falling off, and so I just took and did a quick little anchor stitch to hold it in place so I wouldn't lose it. And look at that thread. Anyway, but it'll help you see some of what I did. Another, not really a mistake, but a frustration. Sometimes when I'm quilting, I don't know what to do in a block. And the ones that really stop me are the little blocks, like this, the little cornerstones. I did 5 different quilting things in these, and I don't like any of them. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I've got to take them all out by hand. I can do them on my domestic. And so if anyone has a good idea with what to do with a 2.5 inch square, so it's about 2 inches, 2-inch square, let me know. I tried doing like a flower, and another one, I tried doing a snowflake, I don't know what this was, but it's stupid looking. Then I tried this. Nope, don't like that. I finally settled on kind of a double thing like this, but now I don't like that either. So, if you have any ideas, shoot them to me because that would help. All right, so now we'll put this aside. And if anybody comes in later and wants to see it, I'll hold it back up. because boy, is it a winner. I absolutely love this. I'm going to make sure I finish it this week because when I put up my other Christmas decorations, I want that to go up with it. All right, so now what I'm going to do, just going to gather some of these things up, clean up my space, because I'm terrible about being able to work if the place is all a mess. So when you go to a retreat, I hope that you have the ability to have a yard sale table, and which means you'll have some things to give away, some things to sell. Yard sale tables are a lot of fun. So on one of the tables, that she had 5 of these, and they're the plastic ones, but she had 5 for $1. That was a good deal. So, and this one has some wonderful pom-poms in it that I got for free. So I got those for $1, and it was from one of the retreat goers. Put that right there from my Mary. All right, so here is a bag of things too. All right, so then they have a giveaway table. Betty said the patterns seem tiny. Do they need to be enlarged? No, not really. The block, to do the block, they're 12 inches. I don't know if you'd want to do much bigger than a 12-inch block. That's why we just did 6 snowmen, because it was getting big. But to have enough room around, it really makes a 12-inch block. So I think, and maybe I need to put my hand up to it. Thank you, Mary, for translating that, because I did not see it. But maybe if I put my hand up, you can see. They're pretty big. They're pretty big. Okay. Now, so they had a free table where people can put quilt magazines that they've already read they don't need. Pretty good. And then there was a prize table that I got this book off of, A Wash with Color, which teaches me how to kind of do watercolor quilts, which is something I've always wanted to do and I haven't done. I just saw one a second ago. Let me see if I can find it again. Here, like something like this. So I wanted to learn about that. Here is a quilt magazine that I don't think, it's a Christmas one with 21 joyful, easy folk art ornaments. This was on the free table. And, I'm always looking for stuff for y'all. And then here was a beautiful crochet book. And I thought, I might I'd love to learn how to do some of the crochet laces. So we'll see. Then one woman, I don't think she knew what she had. I said, are you sure? This is one of the Yazzies. And it has zippered pouch here. It has a zipper up here. It has a zipper over here. And hold on just a second. I don't want to give away her name or personal information. Boy, that really stuck. I'm going to have to mark it out. But I don't like revealing any personal information on here. All right. Now, so you see this with all these nice zippers. And this, look, isn't that great? Then it has Velcro, and look what's on the inside. Look at this. She had it on the for sale table. Are you ready? For 50 cents. I snapped this puppy up so fast. 50 cents? Are you kidding? You guys know how much Yazzie stuffs are. Oh, there's Diana. Oh. Yeah, everyone loves her quilt. Diana, I wish I wish that I could give you a big hug. I've had so many people. Your patterns even went to Turkey. How cool is that? So thank you, thank you. But anyway, I got this for 50 cents. This is wonderful. If you're going to a doctor's appointment, you want to carry a few supplies, pop the stuff in here, you're ready to go. If I want to work on a specific project upstairs in my living room or whatever, boom, you just put what you need in it. There you go. Love, love, love this. All right. 50 cents? Are you kidding me? Then look at this. Okay. When you go to a quilt retreat, you feel all generous and stuff. I found this bag of scraps for $5. I snapped that one up. It's a couple pounds worth. Do you see how big this is? It's big. So a lady was making an I Spy quilt. I said, go through it, find anything you want, and then you can give it back to me. And she was like, are you sure? Yeah. I mean, you got to be generous with this many scraps. And they're beautiful scraps, too. So, boy, I know now why Jody loves getting scraps. Because there's so much. When you do art quilts, really enjoy having access to lots of little things. Because you never know what you're going to need. Somebody had 3 baby dolls. 3 baby doll forms. These are muslin baby dolls. Well, guess what? We just got through doing dolls, and I don't even have to sew this one. Isn't that cool? Got that for free. I'll put that over with my doll collection. Oh, what? Something slipped out. Then I was walking around looking for free things. Somebody had some knitting needles for sale, the kind that have the long string, whatever. Picked these up for my daughter. I waited to see, pardon me, if anyone was going to take them, and they didn't for 4 days. So then I picked up this for my daughter up in Maryland who loves all of her animals. So I've got one for each daughter. And that'll be just a little fun something to give them. Then off the prize table, Color with Confidence, a booklet, and a wheel that you can use, and then lots of instructions. So I got this from the prize table because every so often I like to go over color with y'all, and I thought that'd be nice. Then some more of that Superior thread, really nice. Happy with that. I think I got 4 altogether off the prize table. She asked last year, what kind of things would you like from the prize table to see on the prize table? I said, thread. So, now let me see. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, hold on. I want to show you. What is this in the bottom of this? Hold on. Oh, 2 cute little buttons from playing Quilt Bingo. This is this year's tote. And Carol Hodges makes these totes. Well, she buys them made, but then she does beautiful embroidery on them. Isn't that lovely? This tote has a nice zippered pocket back here and also has a zipper in the top. So, Carol, wonderful. You outdid yourself this year. And boy, we love collecting those. Then there was this free pattern on the table, a giveaway for Cute Floppy-Eared Bunny. That I've always wanted to make something like that. Then we played bingo. We played quilt bingo. I won one of the games. So I brought 6 fat quarters to play the games. I went home with 6. So I guess that's pretty good, right? So anyway, one of the ladies was sad she didn't win, so I gave one of the fabrics to her. And she said, well, what about that lady? She didn't win any either. I said, yeah, but she's young and pretty. She doesn't need to win. And we had a good laugh about that one. All right, this was on the giveaway table. Remember when I just went to Pineapple Fabrics? And, oh, I wish you were here too. But see, remember, I just bought some of these. These are the selvage edges. They're wide selvage edges. And you might say, well, what are you going to do with that? Well, I make rope bowls with them, rope containers. You can do a string quilt with them. They just really come in handy. And if you're lucky, you'll have a 2-inch wide piece of fabric. Use all usable fabric. Or if you want to make a selvage quilt or a project, you can do that. Then, the teal or the turquoise color mountain border that I put on the SnowGlobe quilt, I got that fabric from, we have a shop that comes in, and she's a movable shop. She doesn't have a brick and mortar store, but she's got a traveling shop, and she'll go to different things. And so I bought this fabric. I bought the border that I put on the SnowGlobe quilt. So I got this fabric, and I got this, because I love these colors. This would be a great underwater fabric. So I did actually do a little bit to support the local economy. Anyway, got that. She ended up buying back. I put on the table, because you can bring stuff, your own. I found a pillow quilt fabric that I was making for my son-in-law, who now is my ex-son-in-law. And I took that, put it on the table, and put a $5 price tag. I had already quilted the part that makes the pillow that you fold everything into. I'd already quilted that, and I had a nice big piece for the body of it. And I put on the note about the story that I was very happy to be able to sell this now. And the woman who had the set up store, she said, I had to buy it. Your note was hilarious. So then I saw this scrap on the scrap table, and I thought, isn't that cool? No, I love little stuff like that. Well, when I went to the retreat, Mark stayed home and took care of the fur babies. And when we went to Williamsburg in October, my daughter came over and stayed at the house to take care of them. My two are used to being boarded, but the little red poodle, she's not. And I'm afraid that would just really be hard on her. But this was on a scrap table. Then they have these buckets around it. When people cut their fabric, if they have scraps, they can leave them in the bucket. And I guess people turn them into stuffing for dog beds. But I saw this piece in the scrap bucket. I said, oh my gosh, I love that. So I pulled it right out of the scrap bucket. I'm not proud. That was gorgeous. So I said, a dog doesn't need that. So anyway, that's what I ended up bringing home from the retreat, plus a lot of wonderful memories. It was good for me to go. I really didn't want to leave the house. I was nervous. I'm not used to going out. It's been a long pandemic. Here is the binding that I made for the SnowGlobe quilt while I was there, and even marked on there just what it was for. So, binding for SnowGlobe quilt. So now, as soon as I fix the bottom where I ran out of backing fabric, I can then finish quilting that, put the binding on. Next week, you're going to see a finished SnowGlobe quilt. All right, so there is that. I think I showed y'all Friday how I came home and over Thanksgiving thought, what do I want to work on? When I put something on the frame, I'll work on it a couple hours at a time. If I try to work on it too much more than that, I get sloppy. I get tired. My arms are tired. So what I did is put all my blocks together for this. So now what I need to do is do the borders, but I need to press it really good. This is a project some of you might not know if you're new here. I started this 23 years ago, and it's all Jenny Beyer fabric, which Jenny Beyer is my guiding light of quilting. She's so amazing, and she's just retired. I miss her already. But anyway, this is all Jenny Beyer fabric, and I had a Jenny Beyer free pattern because she used to be so generous, give out all kinds of free patterns. I cut each piece and sewed it all by hand, and it was just really special to me. I thought I just saw a place where I needed to tack a seam back down, but now I can't see it. That's what I mean. Every once in a while you'll see something and think, whoop, is that loose? But here I'll show you how it's all hand sewn. And so this was all cut out. I took templates, traced the templates with pencil, cut them all out with scissors, 41 pieces per block. So, but it is gorgeous. And then I've got the border for it, the inner border, outer border, and I'll get that finished. But yes, it still has the run fabric. What happened is I had it in a tote, and I spilled a Coke into the bag. And then I put it in all the blocks. None of the blocks had been sewn together. So that's why it looks a little raggedy at places, because then I put all those blocks in the washing machine. Big mistake. I didn't even know about color catchers back then. Put it in the washing machine, and that dark burgundy red ran. So then I was so disheartened. I didn't know what to do. I put it all in a plastic bag, and it sat in somewhere for 20 to 21 years. And then I got it out in this past year, and it was like, these are really pretty blocks. Who cares if the color ran? We're so used to batiks and stuff now with colors everywhere. We're not sensitive like we used to be. Because in my mind, 23 years ago, it was ruined. No, it's not ruined. It's just different. So I'm finishing it, but I'm finishing it all by hand. Since I started by hand, I'm going to finish by hand. Everything is going to be cut out with scissors, not a rotary cutter like I did when I started it. And then I'm going to hand quilt it. And when I start hand quilting it, I'll do another refresher for you on hand quilting, because I do love hand quilting. It's peaceful. It's nice. I do love that. All right. So now what we're going to do, let's make an ornament. Then we're going to go do show and tell. And then if we have time, we'll come back and I'll show you a different kind of Christmas decoration that I'm thinking of. This is a little banner. Okay. So let me move this out of the way. I'll bring my camera down and show you the little treat we're going to make today. And I want to thank Nancy and Cheryl at the retreat for giving us this idea. Please stay, camera. Okay, I gotta work quick. Okay, so I've got some little wire here. Oh, Robin, hi. You used to have to still direct the computer to the listed printer, just wondering. Huh. Robin's having trouble printing. Oh boy. Okay, Robin. You know what? Oh boy. I've sent it to Robin a couple times, so I knew that. I put everything in PDF format so that hopefully everybody should be able to open that. Sometimes if you put it in Word format, then if the person doesn't have Word, they can't open it. Oh my goodness, I wonder. Robin, not on here, but you may have to send me your address. I'll print out the pages and send them to you. So if worse comes to worse, we want Robin to be able to make her quilt. So, okay. So here I've got some buttons. I'm going to use this beading wire right here. And so what I did when we were there, they had big trays full of buttons. And so I made this Christmas tree. And I saw some people later, they used a smaller, thick button to be like the base. I thought that was so, so cute. So, okay. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to make a snowman. So I thought for this today, let me get out some of my black buttons. Okay, here we go. So now I can see everything I've got. I'm going to take and use not the biggest button, but a good size button for the base of my snowman. And yes, I know I'm abusing my scissors, but these are my craft snips, and I can always sharpen those, but sorry, I know people don't like to see scissors abused. Sorry about that. So what I'm going to do is come up. Now, hopefully all these have at least two holes. So I've got my first button in this. And then I'm going to go up a little bigger and then go back down a little smaller. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. So any of you who know that Mark and I love to watch a YouTube channel from Highland Hills in Minnesota they have a wonderful ski resort, and they do some fantastic things. I'm just going to build it a little bigger. You could go from the very widest to the narrowest, but I'm always looking to kind of do something special. But basically you just wire these buttons on, and I'm going to try to give it a little snowman shape. Someone said you can get buttons like from craft stores or Amazon, and because I don't normally have big buttons of all different colors. That's why instead of making another Christmas tree, I said, well, I've got some white ones. So this is not fully white, but hey, snow is all different colors. But anyway, I was telling you, Highland Hills is a ski resort, and they have a camera out at the snowboarding hill, and it's so much fun to watch the kids snowboard. They are awesome. And so it's open this week. We also watch a YouTube channel, Strawberry Banks in New Hampshire. They have a historic area, and they do a ice skating rink, and they set it up and flood it and freeze it, but unfortunately they had such high temperatures they've had to delay the opening. But we've gotten to watch cute kids just snowboarding and skiing, and it is just absolutely fun to watch. All right, well, this is not, whoops, I guess I need to move this up a little higher. But this is not going to be the absolute cutest one, but at least I'm giving you the idea. Hopefully you've got a better button supply than I do. But I have seen the ladies made some really cute things. All right, so you just come up here, put the rest of the buttons on. I'm trying to make it have a little bit of shape. I'm not sure I'm doing the best job. Okay. Then I'm going to start working my way down to narrower buttons to give it a little, yeah, I think, let me see. And then I'll give it some little buttons for a head. But just use your different size buttons to kind of vary the look of it. Oh, hello, Ukraine. We love Ukraine. Love, love, love Ukraine. Yep, we still have our flags. We have 2 flags in this house, Ukrainian flags. And to support them in this effort. Love Ukraine. It's been a long 8 or 9 months for you, and our heart breaks for you. So let's hope soon it's all over. You can get back to the life you deserve. Okay, so I'm a little button challenged here, but I did find this button was so cute. I thought this would make a nice hat. So I'm going to put this as the base of my snowman's hat. Right here. And then I'm going to put some small buttons, several small buttons to make a tall enough top hat for our snowman. Oh, you're very welcome, sweetheart. We believe very much in the freedom and sovereignty of Ukraine. We believe in it very, very much. Okay, so now let me try to put, how many do I want to put on here? Oops, my camera's kind of sinking, so not the best view here. Let me try turning off this light back here and see too if it makes the picture better. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. All right, I'll put one more of these cute little buttons on. And then what I suggest you do is then you can get like a little piece of fabric to make a little scarf for him. And let me see, I wish I had a little scrap, but let me cut off this right here. I have fabric. All right. And so what you could do, so when you get the hat just right, then give the metal a little twist to keep the buttons in place. And then you can come in here and glue on or tie on a little scarf. Make sure the buttons are in place tightly. Okay. Then you can come put the little scarf on him. And then what I would do is I have these very tiny little black buttons and a glue gun, and I would glue gun some buttons to the front. Let me show you these tiny little ones. They're so cute. Okay. I have two different sizes of the little ones. Let me see. Oh, come here, little button. But I have two different sizes of these little ones. But you could take, I have a feeling these would be the best. And you can take and make a little face on him. You can take and put little buttons down the front. Then when you have his scarf on him, and since I don't have my glue gun heated up, I'm just going to kind of wedge it in here for the moment. And there would be his scarf. And you can hot glue some little buttons on him, make a face or not. It's up to you, but it's just a cute little thing to do with your button collection. All righty. So I just love giving you ideas, you know. And then I even had some little bells, and you could take and glue a bell to his hat if you wanted. So let me clean this all up, and let's go look at show and tell, because I have some great pictures from some of you, as well as the retreat show and tell. And it's nice to get a good number of ladies who bring in their things to share. We've talked about now a new plan to, when you work on a project during the retreat, to try to remember to bring back the finished project to the next retreat so people can see how it came out. So what I will definitely bring our Snowman SnowGlobe quilt. Okay. Also, for next week, I'm going to try to figure out what kind of Christmas ornament or decoration I can make with empty spools. Look at this one. I just finished this one this morning. What can I use these for? I'm going to work on that this week. So hopefully by next week, you'll get a chance to see what can I do with these empty thread spools, because we all get them, you know. All right, moving things out of the way. Yay. Okay. Now let's turn off the light and show you the show and tell. It's nice to be back in my studio where it's so much easier to show you everything I want to show you. The other day, doing the balancing act in the frame room was a little tricky. Okay. Here we go. All right, let me bring up the photos. Oops, don't you dare. Don't you dare. No tilting allowed. All right. Let's see the photos, okay? It's so euphoria here. Hello, Nancy Lynn. Okay, and Robin's here. It's so good to see all of you. Okay, here we go. Let's go straight to the show and tell, because that's always fun. Recent photos, show and tell at the retreat. All right, so last year in the spring, I was working on one of our hand-painted mandalas. And do you remember the one that we did with the feathers? We'll look at, this is Kitty King's, and this is her version. It hangs in her sunroom. I think that's just lovely. Just lovely. She now loves painting fabric. Okay, let's see the next one. Here is Suzanne, and she's got, I don't think I can make it any bigger, but she's got a half square triangle Christmas tree that she made. Wonderful. Okay. If I bring this up, yes. And I think this is another one of Suzanne's quilts. There it is. Love Suzanne's quilt. Here is yet another one of hers, and this is what we call string quilts, which are a lot of fun. It's a great way to make a scrappy quilt. This is her Santa in the trees, and I don't know if you picked out, but there is Santa right down here. So cute. Let me see. I was going to try to make him bigger. All right, there is Santa right down hidden in the trees. Isn't that precious? I would say to make this quilt, it is good to start saving scrap greens. Here I am with my Anna Buzzolino apple from my class that I took last year. I had just grabbed some things really quickly. I didn't know what to bring. And here is my painted mandala. And I don't know if y'all remember when I did this, and it's part of my space series. And then last year's winter landscape that I brought. Then they said, oh, what about your globe quilt? And so they grabbed that to show. I appreciate that. Oops, these are going to be a little fuzzy. Sometimes I had to really rush. Some people were shy. This was the cutest little giraffe in the bag that, and then she made, this is the daughter of Carol, and she made this wonderful collapsible tote to put things in. Then here is a log cabin and star quilt, good scrappy quilt. Then here, I wish my camera took a better picture of it because it was such a beautiful deep red and white quilt. Just beautiful. Here is another, and Gloria did these two. Gloria's in the red right here. That's our Cheryl, who was the co-queen of the retreat. And this, I thought this was beautiful in person. The fabrics were amazing. And I've forgotten her name. I apologize. Then look at this precious snowman quilt. This is Teresa Smith's quilt. And it is so cute. She actually knitted the scarves that the snowmen are wearing. Quilting is so much fun now. Here's Teresa's broken star. That is gorgeous. A big quilt too. Then look at this beautiful one. She's been working. She's not quite finished with it. She's been working on it for a year or two. And it's beautiful. Here's a close-up of it. Then here, I've forgotten her name too. Here's one of her quilts. This was one of the new gals, and that quilt is called Jaws, and it's sharks, and the red is supposed to be blood in the water. So cute. I love the off-center snowflake. Isn't that cute? And Nancy did one also, but did it in these colors, and it looks totally different. Can you see the snowflake is in blue with all of the other blocks? And she did a lot of fussy cutting and did a lot of Christmas designs. So the color fabric you use really makes a big difference. This is Kitty King again, And I wish you could see this quilt in person. She did embroidery. She did some printing of family portraits and put in. I mean, it is exquisite. She used a upholstery fabric on this chair in front of the fireplace. It is just beautiful. And I'm sorry, I only ended up getting fuzzy pictures of it. It's gorgeous. Then here's another one she did, and it's all about raccoons and squirrels and I guess animals she sees out her window. Oh, upside down there. Sorry about that. But it's cute. A beaver, all kinds of woodland animals. Here, she did this is her first painting project she did after seeing my painting, and she made it into a clock, and it is beautiful. I think I've got a close-up. Oh, no, let me go back. But it's all full of sewing scenes, like thread, machines, yarn. It's wonderful. So she did that that was her first painting project. And then she took, her friend had an American doll for her granddaughter, and she used her embroidery machine and made beautiful outfits for it. And there is a little Southwest Indian girl outfit, and little tiny moccasins and shoes to match the outfits. Here is a sweet little dress, nightgown kind of thing. And this is the woman, it's for her granddaughter. So that's wonderful. And then give peas a chance, because she was going to her sister's for Thanksgiving, so she embroidered those because her sister hates peas. Here is beautiful, beautiful fall quilt. And it's Nancy's right here. They are talking her into entering this in a county fair because it's got just about everything you'd find on a farm. Look at this cute. This is the rooster quilt she made, and this is the one someone else made. Same pattern, just different sizes. Cute, cute, cute. Then look at this beautiful, beautiful seahorse. Good old collage quilting. And this is Cheryl. She did this for her husband. And all these blades of grass are individual pieces. I mean, it's just amazing. Here is another quilt. This was Debbie's. Love these. This is a camper quilt. How fun is this? Another wonderful leaf. You can see this is the fabric that I stole out of the scrap bucket. That's beautiful. Tony did that one. And then Susan Parker did this, and it is gorgeous. I wish you could see it up close. Well, there we go. We got our wish. It is so lovely. She's still working on that, and I just love all the pieces to it. It's so much fun seeing new ways of embellishing quilts that give them such individuality and character. This is a quilt plan called Q5, something like that, or EQ5, and these are the same pattern but done in a different style of fabric, and it just shows how different they are. And evidently at one of the last retreats, these ladies got together and decided to each of them make a quilt with that pattern. So that's a lot of fun. But it's amazing, depending on the fabric you choose. This is Carol who did our wonderful embroidery. And this is her daughter, and oh my gosh, this one, that's the cutest goat quilt. And Carol is prolific. So these are all Carol's quilts. She's just a quilt whisperer. She makes so many different quilts. We wonder, is there time left for anything else? But they're so fabulous. We love them. Very smart lady. Isn't that amazing? 3 wise men. And look at that. I love the way the colors wash across. In between, she did little embroidery patterns that I think she designed herself. It's really cute. Another one of Carol's. This one was huge. This is the backing of that. She was thinking, I've seen this backing in like Keepsake Fabrics catalog. It's amazing backing. But look at that big quilt. She needed one for her bed, so she made it, and she finished it. This again is Kitty's clock. I love that. Let me see if I got everything, because I really don't want to miss anything. It looks like I got them all. Okay, so now let's go to the beginning and see what y'all have sent. But I hope you enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. Okay, Miss Betty. Here we go with Miss Betty's ornaments. These are such fun. And it just shows you can take little silk flowers, little beads, little bits of doll hair, sequins, whatever you can find in your crafting stash, you can make. And these are so cute. I love creativity like this. Look at that. Just cute as can be. Even Halloween got in there. Look at that. Those are wonderful, Miss Betty. Thank you so much. And then Bonnie. Bonnie did a wonderful job of Thanksgiving of making her own tablecloth and napkins. That's very nice. And then she made potato donuts. And I've got the recipe is like a drop donut, but mashed potatoes are one of the ingredients. Now, I thought that was neat. That looked really good. All right, Miss Carol. Okay, I was supposed to wheedle these down a little bit, and I forgot. So let me just see if I can peek through. I love this. Look at using an old pair of jeans to make a tote with pockets. That's awesome. What a great idea. Okay, let me see if I see something else that looks a little new. Here it is. She's doing the work on it. Look at her old Janome. Oh, that's beautiful. Sewing machines were such a work of art. What is... Oh, that's right. This is her witch in the forest. Okay. And you know, she makes the cutest mice anywhere. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. And you notice all those pumpkins in the field there behind her house. I love that. Okay. Then I would like to find out how to make these folded stars. I bet you on her YouTube channel, she makes them. So we could check that out. Is it still called The Magical Touch with a K instead of a C? Look at this great ornament. What fun, hand stitching on felt or wool. I love it. Look at these. Oh, man. I hope she won't mind if I copy some of these to finish out Alex Anderson hand stitching. And then every month she does a diary on fabric and then turns it into a nice roll. It's just lovely. And I forgot what they're called, like a scroll. Yes, a scroll diary. Let me see. Oh, this one's a good one. Look at all of those. Her stitches are beautiful. Her bullion stitches, I've never been able to do a good bullion stitch. And she does them here. She does a bullion rose. Then look at this. Look at, that's that is a way of using the floss and making that, oh shoot. If you're here, Carol, tell them about that. And it's where you're kind of like weaving it to make a chain, like a chain stitch thing. I love that. Very talented lady. Okay, let me see what else. Oh, here she did her own stencil painting, and she did a great job of it. She got her stencil to lay nice and flat. Makes me wonder, was it like a sticky stencil? It's beautiful. And her paints, talented woman. I love on her scroll here is her hot chocolate cup with the candy cane in it, and I love that she uses some batting for the froth of the hot chocolate. And is this the cutest Charlie Brown tree you've ever seen? I mean, she did a great job of replicating that Charlie Brown tree. You remember these? She's so talented. Now let me get back and see. Let me see. I think that's all of the new ones. I hope I didn't miss any because she's so talented. Her soul vessels, where people send her little bits and scraps off from all around the world, and she turns them into soul vessels from all the souls that shared their fabric and their little bits with her. Isn't that wonderful? I love that idea. Okay, Miss Charlene. Yeah, we're only going to look at one picture of this because it's so sad. I've got to find out how she's doing. But she was in the path of Hurricane Ian, and they've had to pretty much rebuild the bottom half of her house. So I'm hoping she's okay. We miss her, and we hope to see her back when she can. Charlene Piper has made the most beautiful bears out of mohair. I mean, they're just beautiful. And I love the different expressions and personalities she's able to give them. Isn't that cute? Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see who's next. Danielle. Danielle finished her beautiful table runner, fall table runner. Wonderful job, Danielle. Wonderful job. And I think back here she showed the fabric she had on the back of it. Really pretty. It looks like it was a quilt as you go. Beautiful project. All right. Now, whoops. Let me go back to the photos. All right. I think I only have just a couple little things. I don't have too much. Let me see. Here's one of my 3 kids. This is my middle daughter, my oldest daughter, Becky, Katie, Becky, and Christopher. Love my babies. And here they are again. They are the apple of my eye, that's for sure. Okay. Then I went to my granddaughter's play. Here she is, Charlie and her brother Evan. And it was Pride and Prejudice. And here I am with her. She came over here for Thanksgiving, and it was so much fun. Oh, there's an interesting cast photo. I thought kind of turned out interesting. If you want to see my retreat pictures, you can look at Friday. But here was my granddaughter Charlie on the way with the granddog Polly. And so now she has decorated the car to look like Christmas. I think it's so cute. All right, if there was anything else, I think, Here is my son, my daughter, then my son's two children, and his beautiful wife, Nikki. And this is Russell and Donnie. Becky loves getting to see them. She doesn't see them as often as she'd like. Okay, I think, well, I do have this video of the done at the retreat. The one thing I love about a retreat is there's so much laughing and chatting in the background.
Last homely house.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. All right, that's it for me. Now quickly. Oh, yes. So this is Debbie Hodge. And on Friday, we showed the quilts from the Houston Quilt Show. And this is one of Debbie's. This is her dog, her wonderful dog. And we're so tickled because Debbie is now a permanent East Coaster. So I have these cute pictures of our snowman block from the designer herself. Okay. This is block number 2. That is so cute. Block number 2. Here is a quilt she had made from before. And you get to see her designs of her snowmen that she has been designing them for a while. And they're so cute. And her eyes are wonderful. Those are her special touch. Look at these. And she even did a little crocheted scarf for him. Isn't that sweet? I love that cardinal singing. And here's the little sewing machine gal. And the patterns, but you can see she's very talented. Here is hers coming together, and she looks like she has some lacy snowflakes that she'll be adding to hers too. So I can't wait to see what hers looks like. She also used a kind of wooden fabric, a wood design fabric that looks wonderful with her bases. So I can't wait to see the rest of hers. Okay, whoops, I'm not sure what I did there. All right. Thank you, though, Miss Diana. Okay, let's come back. Miss Jody finished her 2 block of the months. Come on. There we go. And that's a sure sign that she's feeling better. We hope so. There's, just precious. Love them, love them. All right. And next is Miss Mary. And I love these quilts she sent in. I love the colors in that. That is fantastic. Isn't that great? Love the quilting. Miss Mary is blossoming as a quilter, isn't she? Love it. And then her friend asked her for a whole Holly Thelma Lou block. That is just so cute. That is just so cute. And her beautiful woods that she takes walks in near her property. Just beautiful. Okay. Now, Melanie. Aha, you'll get a chance to see why the dog in the SnowGlobe is our Willow dog. Isn't that cute? So this is Melanie's, and this is Melanie's granddaughter, Stella, Melanie's husband, who made Stella her own quilt. I love that. Love it. There's another Willow. Another Stella and her husband. Another Willow. Here is the quilting she did on Stella's quilt, Butterflies. She made her binding tool star quilt last year when we were doing it, and it's gotten back from the quilter, and look how lovely it is. Just beautiful. That's a perfect choice of colors. And here's Stella with her quilt made by Grandpa. Isn't that nice? Thank you, Miss Melanie. And I hope that you're happy that we named the dog from the quilt after you, after your Willow. Okay, Miriam. Oh, Miriam sent some wonderful things. I'm not sure where Miriam is from, but her wonderful works have an exotic feel. I'm thinking it's somewhere in Europe. They're just wonderful. Wonderful. So cute. So we can't wait to hear more from Miriam. Thank you, hon, for sending those. Okay. Oh, Miss Nadine, I'll give you one picture from her sunset since I opened it, because could that be any more beautiful? Miss our Nadine from Germany. I know she's been busy. Nancy Lynn, who is our So Euphoria, who has a YouTube site. Just check So Euphoria. And let me see some of the new things from her. I love this wonderful bookcase. Is that fun or what? And I love how the characters, the Cat in the Hat and Charlotte's Web and Clifford the Big Red Dog, these characters come out to play in her wonderful bookcase. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is another lovely 3D quilt. I'm trying to look for some of the newer ones, and because they're all so wonderful. Here's an Aztec quilt. Love those colors. And got to show her first place ribbon, something I'll never get, but isn't that wonderful? So don't forget to check out Miss So Euphoria on YouTube. Wonderful, hon. Thank you, Nancy. Nazarene sent some pictures. I love her new works. Here is a welcome harvest quilt she made. Then look at this modern art. Isn't that cool? I'm thinking that would be a fun thing to do. 10 pieces that kind of come together, but not quite. And then I love anything that has a 3D look. Christmas trees, a folded star, and a great table runner. Way to go, Miss Nazarene. All right, now let's see. Miss Polly. Miss Polly has some great ideas. She is, yes, she's thinking about doing this quilt, which is done with wools, but she thinks it probably could be done with other fabrics. And I'm trying to remember the person's name, but maybe if Polly is still here, she could give you there is a name for it, that designer, and a book that goes with it. Then here is her Sheila Knightley quilt, and it's still in process. It's got 2 more borders to go on it, but look at her amazing applique. It is wonderful. Miss Polly, I'm amazed. I can't believe you haven't been quilting for years and years with that beautiful work. Way to go. All right. Now, okay, I think we got that for right now. And Miss Cheryl, oh yeah, these were cute from Thanksgiving. Okay, I have not sat down to do okay, I think that is it. I need to do a little bit of editing in my picture department. So send me, when I edit, I'm going to need a bunch of pictures. So please send me pictures of your work because I would love to share them. All right, let me close that out. Now I'm back, and I'm not going to have a chance to work on our banner, but I'll show it to you next time. There's so many wonderful things to work on. I don't know where to start. All right, everyone. So I hope that you are happy with how Our snow globe quilt is turning out. I am loving it. And whether you do it with the vinyl, the fusible vinyl on it, or whether just with the blocks as planned, I think it is a winner. And I want to give all the credit and thanks to Miss Diana Bicknell, who planned this whole thing. So she is a wonderful designer, and I suggest, yes, please try to jump in with this quilt and enjoy their time with us, because this is a winner. It is a winner. So thank you so very much. And Meltem, I hope to see you again soon sometime. And if I have missed anybody coming in, I do apologize, but thank you so much for joining us. I love our time together, and I hope you'll come back. I've got to decide if we're going to continue to do Art Quilt Thursday. I might end up, well, we'll talk about it Thursday, because there are some of these quilts that I really would love to finish. They're beautiful, and they need to be finished so I can display them. So we'll talk about that Thursday night. We will be here Thursday night. And then next Sunday, we'll have the final of the Snow Globe quilt. And if anyone wants that quilt, that design, all through our chat, Miss Carol has done a wonderful job of filling you in on how to grab one. So they're free thanks to Diana Bicknell, and she's a great designer. What can I say? So we'll do that. We'll have another project to work on for Christmas, and we'll see where to go. All right, everyone, take good care of yourself. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and that you'll enjoy the countdown to Christmas, because we're all kids at heart, aren't we? Oh, y'all are the best. Any questions? Oh, Carol, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Marcia for welcoming everyone. And y'all are the best. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.